What's up, world? Uko here from Better Therapy Now. Welcome to lesson 5 of the Curiosity Mindset, Embracing Rejection and Failure. So I come from the world of social work. I went to graduate school and studied social work, and I was really drawn to social work because of the heavy emphasis on self-improvement. This is a lot of what social workers do when they work as caseworkers or in individual therapy settings. They're helping people kind of identify what their strengths are and then improve themselves and improve their lives and their families' lives as well. But the one thing that can really get somebody to kind of fall off the rails or corrupt the path to progress is failure or any sort of rejection. So why do we want to embrace rejection and failure? Well, one, rejection is why we don't engage in the things that we need to. And specifically in terms of the curiosity mindset, rejection is why we don't engage in the conversations that we need and in the ways that we need to engage in those conversations. And then why do we want to embrace failure? Because failure is part of success. So what's so great about rejection? Well, rejection is an excellent teacher. One, rejection clarifies what truly matters to you. When you experience rejection, this causes you to really think about what you're doing, think about what you value, and think about what truly matters in the long run. Next, it builds resilience. On the pathway to progress or pathway to accomplishing your goals, you're going to have setbacks, you're going to have challenges, and you're going to have to be resilient. Small rejections along that path and building a sort of rejection muscle will allow you to push through those times of challenges or times of setbacks. Next, it prompts introspection. It requires you to kind of evaluate your beliefs and reevaluate why you're doing what you're doing. Next, it teaches you to trust yourself and it teaches you to trust your processes. When you get rejected, you do a sort of introspection of the process as well, and also the goal set and why you want to get to that end state. Next, it makes you more thoughtful. When you experience rejection, you become more empathetic in the feelings and rejections that other people experience, and they're going to feel that empathy that you provide. Lastly, and most importantly, it reduces your fear of failure. The goals that you set, the true goals and more authentic goals, are larger than you. But if you're ruled and managed by failure, you're going to make goals that are artificially small because you have a greater sense of power and a greater sense of control as long as you're making small goals that are easy to accomplish or more realistic. What the curiosity mindset ultimately wants you to do is start to practice rejection so that your fear of failure becomes smaller and smaller. Your values and specifically your core values are very clear so that your fear of failure is reduced. You begin to make larger and larger goals that are more authentic to you, and that leads to larger outcomes. Let's talk about the benefits of failure. So failure, the most important thing that it does, at least in the beginning stages, is it builds emotional fortitude. This allows you to manage setbacks without losing motivation. Say you have some type of goal, like I want to find a significant other and have 2 kids in the next 5 years, right? Great goal. Well, to do that, you're going to have to take some sort of action that's going to have successes and failures and setbacks in it. Maybe my task that I give myself is to introduce myself to a stranger 2 times a week, every single week for the next year. Okay, that's a big task. And that's going to introduce me to people that are rude. It'll introduce me to some passive aggressive behavior. I'll have some successes. Sometimes things will go perfectly well, but I am going to have some setback where people are rude or mean. Having those small failures helps you build emotional resilience that will be useful in the relationship, for example. Setbacks ultimately and failures prepare you to have the thing that you ultimately want. And that's why failure is so important. In the worksheet, Rejection as a Learning Opportunity, what you're going to do is first identify some time in your life that you had a rejection, that you had to experience being rejected in some way. And you're going to define this in 2 ways. First, you're going to define this rejection as it initially presents itself in your mind. So basically, what you remember about that rejection. And then you're going to redefine that rejection as a learning opportunity. And if you can't think of a rejection, then great. Go out and do something where you have the possibility of being rejected, and then keep doing that thing until you get rejected, and then do the worksheet. So let's take an example. The initial definition of the rejection is you applied for a job at work, like a promotion or maybe a manager job, You had to develop a presentation and kind of present your vision. You presented it, you put a whole lot of hard work into it, you put blood, sweat, and tears into it, but in the end, you didn't get the job. Somebody who you view as less experienced, but who had a better presentation and better presentation skills ended up getting the job. So how do we redefine this as a learning opportunity? Well, although initially it was very emotional and disheartening to not get that job, you understand that you have a learning opportunity here, a chance to actually grow. So one thing that you could do is take action and ask the hiring panel about some of your weaknesses. And maybe they explain that your technical skills were really good, but the other person inspired much more confidence and presented their vision in a way that's much more clear. Now you have certain areas that you can engage with or work on, such as maybe taking a public speaking course or some type of presentation course to work on those things. So you actually have something that you can direct your energy towards and work on that weakness. That's really the entirety of this exercise. And try to pick something like a moment when you were rejected that really brings up significant emotions for yourself. Look for the thing that is gonna kind of remind you of some sort of bitterness. Don't be easy on yourself. Really challenge yourself to engage with a moment that really upset you and that really felt like rejection. After you finish this exercise, we'll talk about something that comes up a lot and is very kind of destructive towards the curiosity mindset, and that is the difference between being right and getting it right.